How did you weigh going out right now in the middle of a pandemic and a recession?
Emily, great to talk to you. It's been an exhilarating day, but I have to tell you that the performance of Lemonade over the course of the last few months has been little impacted by the pandemic, much to our surprise. So the business has proven itself to be more resilient than you might have imagined or we might have feared. And a lot of the key performance indicators that we've been tracking for a while that were on an upwards trajectory continued despite the pandemic. So the health of the business has proven strong and resilient, and that's allowed us to go public.
Shares trading up now almost 140% above the initial price. That's great in terms of positive momentum, but are you concerned at all that maybe you underpriced or were too conservative given the money left on the table?
Honestly, we are a young company. We've been in market less than 4 years, and we see ourselves as having a journey of 20 years of growth ahead of us, which is why we went public now. We thought the public markets are really the place on which to build an enduring, iconic company. We're not going to look at what our shares do in a number of hours or minutes. We're really going to look at building value for years and hopefully decades to come, and we'll measure against ourselves against that rather than against a few hours of share performance, however exhilarating those have been.
So speaking of the long term, one of Lemonade's selling points is just how quickly you deliver quotes, how quickly you pay claims. That said, you're still not profitable. What is the timeline for profitability?
So we do feel that this is the time to make bold investments, that there is a window of opportunity now that may be the cheapest time in the next 100 years to build the reincarnation, the 21st century incarnation, if you like, of what a modern digital insurance company can be. And given the size of the prize, making bold investments now makes sense. That said, we are already seeing a path to profitability. Our losses per every dollar sold have been shrinking pretty rapidly. So we lost about $2.4 in 2018 for every dollar, and that dropped to 1.4 in 2019 and to 70 cents in the first quarter of this year. All the while, our marketing efficiencies have doubled over the last 12 months. So I do think there are indicators to suggest that the investments that we're making will, over the long term, produce real returns.
I wonder, though, we've seen so many tech companies invest a lot of money for the long term, and given the environment we're facing right now, we've seen a lot of companies have to pull back. Airbnb, Uber, Lyft, massive layoffs and more uncertainty ahead. So I wonder if conserving cash right now is something that you're also considering.
When the pandemic hit and the lockdown began, we did that. We took our foot off the pedal and waited to see what would happen. And when we compare the 30 days of April of this year, which was really the height of the pandemic and the lockdown, to the 30 days during the same period last year, we spent a third fewer dollars, even though our business was twice the size, in terms of marketing. But those marketing efficiencies were so great that we produced 130% more sales. So actually, we continued to grow even as we took the pedal off the metal. And that emboldened us to go back into more of a growth mode. In fact, we've increased our headcount by about 20% during the lockdown. So as I say, I know that the pandemic has affected many businesses in a very tough way. It has been helpful to some businesses. For Lemonade, we've really seen a continued up and to the right progression, which began before the pandemic, has continued during it, and we hope that signifies that it will be able to continue after the pandemic as well.
SoftBank owns a 20+% stake in the company. Given all the struggles they've had over the last year, what's it been like working with them and through this IPO process?
SoftBank have been just the dream investor for us. They really have. Now, I know that they've taken a lot of hits in other companies and in public perception, but if it wasn't for reading the papers, just looking at what we know of our relationship with them, they have been stalwart supporters. They supported us throughout this IPO. They supported us beforehand, and we're really proud to have them as shareholders at Lemonade.
Meantime, insurance claims are down to record levels. Given the pandemic, you've got folks out there who can't even make rent, let alone pay renter's insurance, and who maybe aren't moving right now. How do you see growth playing out over the short term as, economies start to reopen, but in fits and starts, and we're seeing a resurgence of the virus around the world?
Yeah, absolutely. And we try to help out in a variety of ways. So as I say, that the core business has been resilient notwithstanding that. And we've done a lot of things in terms of allowing our customers to delay payments, etc. We've really tried to make every accommodation needed for our customer base during these rough times. What we also do, Lemonade is unusual because a portion of our profits go to nonprofits. We are a public benefit corporation. We're certified B Corp. And once a year, and it's actually right now in July, we have our Give Back Day where residual premiums are given to causes of our customers' choosing. And when the pandemic hit, we wrote to all of our customers and asked them if they'd like to channel those monies towards COVID relief, and tens of thousands of them did that. So we're really glad to say, both in terms of taking care of our customers and our customers being able to take care of their communities, we're trying to do our part.
So last quick question. We've got about 30 seconds left. What's your global plan? I know you're also in Germany and in the Netherlands.
Yeah, so the fabulous thing about insurance is that it generates companies that can last 100+ years and do tens of billions, if not over $100 billion a year. Certainly a prize worth fighting for. We're in the early innings. We're 4 years old. We've got a lot of work ahead of us, but we do want to continue to expand. So globally, we are now in Europe. We launched Germany. We launched the Netherlands during the lockdown. We're expanding throughout the United States, and we hope to expand into new customers, new geographies, and new products in the months, years, and decades ahead.